Welcome back, realvacantland.com. This is Luke Smith, and I'm glad to be here on a Monday morning, 9 a.m. Like every Monday morning, 9 a.m., we do these live calls, and we talk about land. We talk about vacant land in all kinds of places. And sorry, I'm getting a little bit distracted here, trying to bring up the screen so I can see what's going on. So we got land. We send out mailers. We send mail all over the place when we make cash offers and we buy land. We buy land, and we put it up for sale on the internet. We put it on the website, ruralvacantland.com, and we sell land. And the main sales pitch is the cheapest land in the area. It's all vacant land. It's undeveloped land that you could go, it's open pallet land that you can go make your way with. You could homestead with it or build your business there or do what you want to do with the land. Different regulations on different pieces of land. I like land. I have a passion for land because it's a basic commodity kind of asset that's hard to screw up. Hard to screw up if you buy it at the right price. And so I think a lot of the art of land is buying it at the right price. And I think all land has a price that makes sense. And you could take that land and you could go use it for something or do something with it. We've got a little bit of construction going on next door if you're listening to that. And yeah, so getting some red lights. Hopefully you guys can see, and this is working. Might not be going fast enough. But I wanted to start this call out by giving some land away. I want to give away some land at the end of the call. I'm not giving away mailers right now because I'm behind on doing mailers. I got to catch up on a lot of the mailers. I've been doing a lot of mailers. I just got to catch up on the ones that I've promised before I start giving out more of them. But I've got some properties and give away some free land. And so as maybe a little bit into this call, I'd like to get that started. Main thing I wanted to talk about today was the land that we have on the website. So I got a couple comments starting to fill in there. Guys saying, yeah, good morning. Looks fine here. Good. Okay, so it's working for some people. It says video output low. It says some viewers might get buffering. So hopefully it catches up and comes through. I got pretty fast internet and seems like it should be going, but whatever. I don't know. Let me try one more thing here. Bear with me a second. Let's try to kill that feedback and see if that gets it going quicker. Okay, so yeah, so I wanted to say, please don't send me any more money for the Arkansas land. I think we're all full there. I'm going to process as much of it as I darn well can. I might end up sending a little bit money back for some people. But if you already sent money, don't worry about it. I'm going to work on it as much as I can. We started going into some of the properties because in Arkansas, there's a lot of properties that the state has taken back for people not paying taxes. And so they haven't paid the taxes. And after a couple years, I think it's like 2 years not paying the bills, the state takes the properties over and then they put them up for auction. And then if nobody shows up for auction, the auction starts at a bid of all the outstanding taxes and fees and interest that are due on there. So if nobody takes it at auction, then it goes on to the over-the-counter list. And anybody who wants to come buy the thing by paying all the back taxes and fees and stuff can do that. And after 2 years of it sitting on that list and nobody buying it for all the back taxes and fees and stuff, then you can negotiate. You can negotiate with the state how much you're willing to pay for the property. That doesn't have to be as much as the taxes and fees and interest and stuff that are outstanding. And that's where I get pretty much all the properties that I go after is the negotiated ones. And so after that 2-year window, I'll go negotiate them and buy them. And so the state has data on a lot of those properties, and a lot of them they don't have data on. And I think the best properties I'm finding are the ones that the state doesn't seem to have very good data on. And so if the data looks funny, I'm looking at the legal description and looking at the property. And lots of times there's like a house there, or a mobile home there, or something there that is worth more than just vacant piece of property. And so I'm trying to target those ones first, and the vacants, good looking vacants, so you could put a mobile home on or you could use pretty easily. And picking up those properties. So I'm working my way through. I've got back office ordering all kinds of plat maps from different neighborhoods and areas that some of these properties are in that aren't being mapped out by the state, so I can get a little bit of a competitive advantage against other people doing this. I don't know if the counties will provide the plat maps really easily or what. I mean, I probably have to mail them letters and checks and just go old school on it and get paper on them and pay for them to print them out and send it back and look at it and compare. But I can do that now because I got database software to keep track of them all. So I can keep track of all those things I'm asking for. And when a new piece of information comes in on it, I can pick it up right where I left off and go make that happen. So I'm going to try to do that on filling out the rest of a lot of the Arkansas properties that the guys are asking for from last couple live videos. So that's one item I wanted to check off the list. I wanted to say, please don't send more money for the Arkansas ones. I didn't put I took the information of where to send the money and everything off this video, but it's in some older videos. So please don't send more. I'll do more deals on other things in the future, or maybe more Arkansas if I find enough of it to go around. And then the mailers, I'm not doing any more mailers right now for people because I'm full. I got to get mailers for a lot of the people that I've promised. And what's happened to me recently, the last couple months, and trying to do all the mailers that I offer to do for people, is that I got bogged down in all the due diligence on the properties that are coming back. So we targeted Puget Sound area, Washington, and which I think is a beautiful area. There's lots of really neat land there. And the more I dig into it, the more I can see the dichotomy of prices between the properties that are unbuildable or something weird's going on and the properties that are buildable and they just obviously you can go make them happen. And so, I mean, one of them I was ready to pull the trigger on here just last week, talking to people at the county about a different property, and they pointed out that one of the local Native American tribes had a dispute about water in the area, and you can't go drill a new water well in that area. I'm like, oh, does that apply to this other property? And the one that I was asking about was on the edge of it, but the one that I thought was a go was right in the middle of that. So I'm trying to figure out how real or not that the Native American dispute over water is, and if you can drill for water and still use that as a permit to meet the permit requirements to build there, or does it have to be rainwater catchment, water delivery, like it kind of sounds like it is. I mean, just things like that I'm running into in some of these properties that are could make or break the property. You know, it'd be nice to know that before I buy the property and go market it to you guys and give you a good property. It'd just be good to know as much about them as we can, right? And so it takes a lot of time going back and forth and figuring those out. And so I'm getting bogged down in doing that on this new wave of deals versus sending out more mail and bringing in even more deals. So I'm going to send out more mail and do more deals. And I think one of the most recent things that I've come up with, I think we can really do on the people that I've promised the mailers to, is I've been working with the back office, and we've got manpower there, right? We could put the manpower to work, and they can look at lakes and ocean fronts, riverfront, waterfront kinds of properties that I have my heart in, because I grew up on waterfront properties in northern Michigan. I'm living in Southern California, like across the street from the beach. I mean, I love the waterfront kind of thing. It just really speaks to me. And I've been trying to figure out cute data ways to target waterfront properties, and I haven't really figured it out. So I think just going down the coastline of these bodies of water that I'm interested in, that I think would be good deals, and making offers on every single waterfront property, vacant waterfront property, and just running the statistics, see what kind of deals come back. I think those could be even better deals than the ones we were talking about before. I think the people that went for mailers, either won mailers or bought mailers, could maybe hit even longer ball home runs on some of those properties. And I love to present waterfront properties, so I think it'll be a win-win all the way around. Okay, so let me catch up on some of the comments, and then we'll jump in. I got some green lights there for a second. Good morning. A bunch of people saying hello and good morning. Not buffering here. Good. So I'm just going to ignore some of these YouTube warning lights. Dave's this morning here. Stanley Smith. Hey, Mr. Smith. Hello, Mr. Stanley Smith. Loving Ivy Farm. Morning, y'all. Eric Longston. I live in Branson, Missouri, and I would like Arkansas land. Yeah, Arkansas land coming up, guys. We're going for so much Arkansas land. I mean, I don't know how to explain it all. I've been crunching paperwork. My printer's been flying. I'm going to be taking a bunch to the shop this morning, to the mail shop this morning. I got to put checks with a bunch of the deeds that are paperwork requests for deeds, whatever you want to call it, that I processed this weekend. I'm just going to keep crunching on that, and I wouldn't be able to do all that paperwork on my own. I'm glad I got some help doing it, making it happen. Eric Longston saying, I don't own land now, I live in a hotel. Yeah, so perfect. Like these Arkansas properties, you can take one of these properties and you could you could go find a mobile home and move it to one of these properties. I think we're getting a lot of mobile home friendly properties coming up. And I mean, the property will probably cost like a week's worth of motel rent. And a mobile home, I mean, if you shop around, you can find these mobile homes for a couple $1,000s that aren't that bad. I mean, you could use some work and fix them up. I mean, lots of times there's mobile home parks that have a renter or two that disappeared and they just want to get rid of the mobile home. I mean, you just got to ask around, start hitting Craigslist and getting through the network of people in the know in the area until you find one of those got to get rid of it mobile homes, or somebody wants to build a house there and they want to get rid of the mobile home. Then you're probably talking $1,500 to move it, which you add all these bills up, it's a lot to get over. But I mean, excuse me, it's going to be a lot better than paying hotel rent in the long run, and you're going to be much more financially free once you do get past those initial fees in the front end, then keeping up with mortgages and rents and things going forward. John O'Donovan, head into Cochise County Wednesday morning to check this one out. Check this out. Just going to Cochise to check out some land. Good deal. Thanks, John. Go check out some of the land we have in Cochise. We've got a bunch of different properties up on the website. I just made some videos this weekend about a couple properties I got in Cochise. There's some other 20 acres and some bigger ones that some of the other guys on the website have, and in Cochise as well. I mean, go take a look at the list of them and see which ones hit your price, hit your area, hit what you're looking for. Mick Cat, I'm looking for Northwest Arkansas property, anything available. So let's pull up Arkansas. A couple people asking about Arkansas. So I'm going to jump into the website. We're going ruralvacantland.com. Let's see. And so I'm going to go listings for sale. Well, I already did this. I'm going in circles. I'm seeing all kinds of things pop up on the screen, trying to read it. Too much stuff going on. Okay, so Arkansas. Asking for the northern part of Arkansas. Let's hit all of Arkansas, because I don't think we have that many Arkansas up for sale right now. So Arkansas, we've got over 20 of them. Okay, so a couple new ones must be posted. Yeah, so we got some Sharp County, Arkansas. Sharp County's in the northeastern part of the state. And this is like an eighth of an acre or so, $550. Let's make sure this is still for sale. Yeah, so this one's still for sale, and Robin's got a grouping of them here. And if you look at this map, you're like, hey, where's the access? But if you pull this thing up, and let's see if we can do it over here. If you do it in this kind of map, and make it bigger so you guys can see it. I don't know if you can totally see it. Kind of light. You got to go play with it yourself. So go to ruralvacantland.com, look up Arkansas, and look at these Sharp County ones. There's a little road here, and it hasn't, like, it was made in the 50s or something. And that's like almost 70 years ago, 60 something years ago. So the road has grown in. You got to go chop some trees and bushes, maybe even pull out some stumps or something to get this driveway here to work so you can get back to these properties. And he's been selling a grouping of them here. So like this whole street or something. So you probably have other people moving in and working on it too. But this is not in the neighborhood. It's not in the neighborhoods of Sharp County, which is Horseshoe Bend is the big neighborhood that's in Sharp County that's got the rules and regulations. This is not in Horseshoe Bend. This is just some guy created a little subdivision here and sold the lots off back in the day, and it didn't make up all those restrictive rules that the other ones did. So you could get this and you could go move in there with like your RV and just go for it, right? And so he's asking $550 for that. That's just the first one on the list. There's a bunch of Arkansas properties here. There's another one. It's another one of those 550 ones. I think that's the same neighborhood, Sharp County. I think this is the same little area, Sharp County. Yeah, so there's a bunch. There's a grouping of them there in Sharp County. And then here's some more Sharp County. So we got a bunch of Sharp County on the board right now. Wow, a lot of Sharp County. 20 different Sharp County. I don't think we've ever had that many Sharp County up for sale. So then we get into Boone County. We got a couple Boone County, Izard County. Izard County is the one that I know the most. Izard County gets some nice lakes and streams and things there. Boone County, I don't know where Boone County is, but Izard County is in the north, northeastern of the mountains. There's some more Sharp County, Baxter County, so kind of central-ish, more northern part of the state. Boone County, let's take a look. I don't know these Boone County ones or where Boone County is. $450 for like just a hair over a tenth of an acre. It looks like it's got a little road and it's just a smaller lot in the woods, big enough to go put a mobile home on it or cabin or something. Let's see if he talks about. We have found no property owner associations in the area, and the tax is around $5 a year. It's outside the city limits, so there are no city-specific restrictions on what you can do. The only requirement is that you use a septic tank for sewage if you develop the lots. There you go. So you got to fit a septic in there, and it's a tenth of an acre, just over a tenth of an acre. So you're probably going to want to make sure you can get the septic to fit and have a housing site on it. If he's got a couple of these for sale, you could probably really get them to work. There's my dog. These don't look like they're next to each other. Look like they're in the same area, but not right next to each other. Or maybe they are. I don't know. Yeah, so 4049. Oh, okay. So he's got a couple of them. He's got a couple of them next to each other, I guess. So maybe you could get a couple of them next to each other. Maybe you could put the septic on one, and you could put a cabin or mobile on the other, and go for it. Because 0.11 acres is pretty small to fit a building structure and a septic. I mean, if you do a tiny cabin and a septic and you park in the street or something, that'd probably work. But you have to get creative on fitting it into that size. Okay, so let's go back to some more of the comments. Using a couple computers here, so do it on another computer. I'm trying to spread the load around. So that was Mick Cat, and Michael's saying good morning from Oregon. Lisa's saying good morning. Yassar saying peace. Good morning from Florida. Good morning from Indiana. Good morning from Los Angeles. Good morning from Tennessee. Good morning, Luke. Good morning, guys. Anything in close Denver? Denver sidebar. So I've got the map search. I should have opened this up. We'll open up the map search on the screen here. While that loads, I'll pull up Colorado properties in the list. I'll throw what I'm doing on the screen here. So Colorado properties. Come on. So I've got the website sorted by state because that's how the data of finding these properties comes out, state and then by county. And I don't know what county Denver is in. I don't know Colorado that well. So I'm going to feel like an idiot here trying to figure out what county Denver's in. And then, but the map search will help me a lot better. I'll just pull up the map search. Finally, that thing's loading. It just takes a little bit to load. We'll just use the map search. So we'll zoom in on Denver. And Denver's right here in this area. And I don't have anything right in Denver, but going west from there if you go out the 70 and north up the 275 towards Alice, St. Mary's Glacier, there's a neighborhood here with a couple properties. Looks like one of them sold. So third of an acre on a road. This one is, oh, this one's even bigger, 0.42 acre. Let's take a look at this. Brian's got this one. He's asking $7,999. Oh, it's sold. Let's update the maps on that. Just make a note to fix that. Okay. This other one here, see if this one's for sale. Yeah, this one's for sale, $6,999. And how big is this one? 0.33 acres. Okay, so $6,999. This one's cheaper than the one that sold, but it's a little bit smaller. It's on a road. Looks like some nice trees there. The way this road's going back and forth, I'm thinking that's a big hill. Yeah, I got it on the screen. So, can we get the Google guy in there? No Google guy. But we can do, let's do some 3D maps, see what kind of hill this is. So it's right in here, right? Oh. Yeah, it's definitely a hill. So, I'd be on the side of the hill here, and I bet you get some good views. Probably don't even have to chop trees to get views on that kind of hill. Yeah, so I'd want to talk to like geotechnical kinds of people or something before you try to build on the hill. Make sure the hill's stable enough to go build something into the hill. But you could probably, I don't know, do like an angled driveway into a parking spot and build up from there. So you walk into the basement that kind of walks out, and then you go up a floor or two. It'll make it hard to bring the groceries home, but easy to take the trash out, right? Build into the hill and have some views. Put some decks over that thing, and I doubt there's much traffic that goes on that road. Yeah, you get views out all over the place. So coming off of that hill. So, and it's south facing too. So this is north, that's south. So the hill goes up to the north and down to the south. So you'd be facing south. You'd probably get the more sun on this side of the hill. You know, the snow would probably melt this side of the hill faster than anywhere else. And you just get the most sun. So you could set your windows up so your overhangs work. So the sun comes in the winter, and then in the summer it hits the roof. You could probably get that angle going really well, facing the road, facing south. And just setting that up. Okay, so I'll leave this in the background. I'll take a look at some more of these other comments. New subscriber, looking for land near Overland Park, Kansas. Okay, so let's look for Overland Park, Kansas. I want to give some land away, and then I'll give some more land away towards the end of this call too. So Overland Park, Kansas. Let's see where that's at. I kind of don't think we have anything over there, but let's take a look. I don't even know where Overland. We're just going to say anything Kansas. How about that? Here's Kansas. We don't have anything in Kansas, guys. So what happens is, we send out cash offers to buy land. And it's a lot easier to buy weird land, funky land, something different land than homogeneous land. I mean, there's desert homogeneous land, but when it comes to homogeneous kinds of farmland or something close to farmland and farmland area, the farmers know what land goes for. You go to the local Mama's Kitchen, restaurant, and ask the guys sitting there having their cup of coffee how much does land go for, and they're all going to give you some quote that's like, $3,200 an acre, $3,100 an acre, $3,400 an acre, something really close to what the other guys say. and they could all say it without hearing the other people's numbers, and they'll all know the numbers, right? Those are the guys that know land in the area. They know the price of land just like they know the price of soybeans, and they know the price of corn, and they know the price of wheat. They just know it. And so when it comes to making cash offers to those guys to buy their land at like 10 cents, 20 cents, 50 cents on the dollar, I mean, you're just banging your head against the wall, in my opinion. I mean, if you go try to buy that land for, let's say it trades for $5,000 an acre and you're trying to buy it for $4,500 an acre, I mean, you probably have more luck doing those kinds of trades than the kind of discounts that I'd like to get in vacant land. So the other guys, the other people, guys and gals on the website that are buying land and posting land up for sale, I think they've figured out or understand or know that as well, and so they're not making offers in regular Kansas kinds of properties. I'm sure there's exceptions in there. Like there's some lakes in Kansas. We go get some lake frontage or some city lots or something that's going to be a little different, but we don't have any Kansas stuff going on. I'm moving a little slow this morning because I was fishing over the weekend, and I caught a couple sharks. I was catching some leopard sharks. Showing the kids on the beach and stuff, like different they're all the same kind of shark, but the first one I got was about this big, and then, and then they don't fit on the screen anymore. I caught a half dozen of them. They just got bigger every one I caught. And then I caught a stingray, and I was trying to show the kids where the stinger is on the stingray, and I was unhooking him. It's like, you got to be really careful with these stingrays. And then the thing just did some karate move and stuck me right in my right hand. So it laid me out. That put me out of fishing for the weekend. And I hobbled back to the house. I was like, okay, I got to get back to the house before the poison of this sucker kicks in. And I passed out when I got back to the house. I was like knocked out all weekend. And my right hand still, it's not working. I can't hold a pen. I can hardly I'm like using the mouse with my pinky. I'm limping back, but I'm coming around, right? So be careful with those stingrays. That's like what got Steve Irwin, This one got me in the hand, not in the heart, but it still hurts a lot in the hand. Okay, so let's give some land away. I was going to give 2 properties away this time. I'm going to say sorry for no more Arkansas deals, no more mailer deals. We'll come up with some other deals in the future. The only deals I really have to offer right now is posting properties on the website. You can post all the properties you want to sell, and if they don't sell, I just refund you the $200 a month. But I mean, if you have good land, it usually sells. A lot of the properties that we have on realvacantland.com get more hits and more traffic than the similar kinds of properties get on Zillow, because we've got a great audience, a bunch of cool people following and looking for the next good piece of real estate, nice, cheap, easy piece of land. And so I'm so grateful for that. I just want to keep it going. That's part of me giving properties away. So if you win one of these properties I give away, feel free to come back to me. We'll do a contract that says I can go sell it for you, and I'll charge you if you want to. This is optional. You can do whatever you want with the land, but if you want to sell it, turn it into cash, let me know. I'll go put it up for sale, and I'll charge you 50% of the profits to sell the thing. I'll do the phone calls and the advertising, the paperwork. I'll do the whole 9 yards. You just go along for the ride, and you get half the profits on it, plus the cost of whatever it costs me to buy the thing for you. You get to keep that too. So if that makes sense to you, or you want to run with one of these properties, take off with it, and just keep it for your kids, your grandkids, or build on it. That's really cool. If you want to make a YouTube video about developing the thing, I think that would be ultra awesome. I'd love to watch it. So let's give a property away. And I got to ask a basic question. Just say you've been listening a little bit. This question is going to kind of feed into some previous videos. So we're doing these Arkansas deals in the past. And what was first, let's do the 7th person to answer. And what was the dollar amount? It's a number, 3-digit number, something 00. The dollar amount of those Arkansas deals I did in the last 2 or 3 videos ago. So if you've been listening to a couple videos, Monday morning calls, you probably got a good shot of what the dollar amount is. I don't think I said it this morning. So you might have to have a little bit of history of the channel to win this one. But yeah, so let's look at some comments and see what we get. I got it on a different computer, so I can't throw it up on the screen. So I was just trying to spread the load around. And so Wood Booger says 500. That's right. So that's one. Frenchie says 500. That's two. Buford T. Justice says 500. That's three. Dave Tassiet says 500. That's four. Frenchie again. That's five. Andrew W. says 500. That's six. And then Evelyn Salinas. Evelyn Salinas, that's seven, says $500. So Evelyn Salinas, I'm saying you're the winner, whether I counted it wrong or your feed's different than mine or whatever. In mine, I'm seeing Evelyn Salinas. So let's run with Evelyn Salinas. And I can hardly type. I got like this big puffy hand. I can't type. I have to do this left-handed. Sorry, guys. EVEL. Okay, so Evelyn Salinas one. I was going to type out the email, but I'm having a hard time using my hand. So I'm stuck left-handed. Evelyn Salinas, thank you for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for paying attention, coming into these videos. I'm glad to give you a piece of property. I'm going to try to make a video about it in the future and tell you about what this property is and say thank you again. And it'll just be a little video, present the property. And it might be even easier if you want to resell that property. I could probably use the same video for somebody who wants to buy the actual property. But yeah, it's probably going to be one of these Arkansas ones, and I've been going through a bunch of legal descriptions in these Arkansas ones and finding mobile homes and houses and different structures and even like elementary schools and office shopping complexes and things. You might get some of that. I'll throw something cool in there for you, and we'll see what you end up with. You can get some random funky land from Arkansas that somebody didn't pay their taxes on, and we can buy it from them. And then if we do the paperwork and they end up paying their taxes last second, and you get some weird letters from the state, just keep me updated on what those letters are. If you could send me copies, take a picture of your phone or send me copies, tell me what they are. We'll rejig it, go after a different property or figure out something from there, whatever the feedback is, and try again on a different one if we have to. And so to get your information into my office, please email Gilian, Gilian, at ruralvacantland.com. Email Gilian and say, I won free piece of property from Luke Smith on today's date. And if you reference this video, that'd be great too. They should be watching the videos to police this as well. Okay, so back on to some comments. Let me go back into comments and see if I can get this to work again. Do this left-handed. So, it doesn't load back that far. Hopefully I didn't miss someone. So John Cade is saying, good morning from Sierra Vista, Arizona. Looking for 2 10-acre Northwest Arkansas owner finance. Thank you for all that you do and help us be property owners about it. So so 2 10-acre Northwest Arkansas properties. So most of these properties are basically all these properties that I've been getting in, let me pull this back up on the screen. In Arkansas, none of them have been that big. I sent some mailers out to larger acreage Arkansas ones, and people just yelled at me. They just wouldn't sell the properties to me. It's a different attitude, it's a different market. They didn't seem to be open to my cash offers. Maybe my offers weren't big enough. Maybe they had a California address or whatever. It didn't hit home well. And usually send offers to enough people, somebody takes my cash and runs with it. They need the money, right? But not Arkansas. They didn't do it. So the ones that I've been getting have been coming from the tax office. And I think until we clean up all the good looking buildable properties in the Arkansas back tax land, I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense to go buy a lot of those properties around Arkansas when you can get these other ones so stinking cheap. So I think the paperwork we're processing now and the money that guys have sent in from watching these videos to buy those properties will pretty much buy out all the buildable properties in the Arkansas tax database. And if I can have any say about it, I was going to buy some too, but I don't even think I'm going to be able to. Um, but we'll just buy them out and resell them. We'll add marketing. We'll show people where they are in a map. We'll show the attributes of those properties and up the price a little bit, but not crazy amounts. Still have the cheapest land in the country, basically, and probably sell that stuff in short order and move on. Maybe from there we'll end up with some larger acreage Arkansas, but we just don't have the larger acreage Arkansas ones. So sorry, John Cade, but maybe some other areas we end up with them. Okay, go 1, 2, 3. Luke, do you ever lease land just for people to live on, or would you for the right price? I mean, I like to sell the land. Why don't you want to own it? you know, just own the land. If you have like an ex-wife that's coming after you, or some government subsidy, something that you're trying not to screw up, or old lawsuits or something, you want to do a lease instead of owning it, I think you should be looking at other structures, maybe corporate structures. Get creative with the ownership name. Like, you don't have to own something in your personal name. You could create some kind of LLC or some corporation that is American, or you could even be in some other country that owns that thing. And you could be leasing it from them, per se, if that's what you want to look at, or you're trying to do some tax deals. I'm not an advisor on these kinds of things. I'm just saying what I see from other people's land deals. Maybe you could get more creative than just leasing it. I would rather just sell the property. I don't want something to come back to me later about you doing some environmental mess and dumping a bunch of biohazards on the property or something. I don't know what you're going to do, but do zoning violations. Next thing you know, the city is after me for whatever it is you're doing on the property. I think it's better that you just own the property. I mean, these are pretty cheap properties. If it's the money thing that you're trying to get to, maybe you should be looking at owner finance. I think it's a little bit easier to blame somebody that's buying the property on owner finance for whatever they're doing wrong on the property, passing the bill to them, than a lease. Okay, yeah. Okay, trust funds. Yeah, exactly. So, different ways of doing it. Okay, let's look at properties that are up for sale, like the newest stuff that's up for sale on the website. And I'm going to give some more land away later on in the show. We're just like halfway in, right? So this is what I love, because I don't have time to check in on the website and see what the newest properties are that are coming up on there. We've got 15 or 20 people or something posting properties on the website, and they're finding land the same way that I find land. They send out mailers and they get this stuff and they put it up for sale as the cheapest in the area. So we got King County, Washington. So let's see what this one is. This actually might be one of mine. Yeah, this is one of my properties. I got to price this thing. I got to figure out a price to put this up for sale. But it looks like we got the pictures back. So we must have just got the pictures back on this one. Yeah, I'll dig into this one later. This one's not totally ready yet. That's just coming back. This is one of the let me put it on the screen. So this is Washington. The first one on there is King County, Washington. This is one of the properties that came back from one of the mailers that somebody from this was listening to the show Finance. So people either sent in money or they won mailers, and somebody got this property, and we got it financed and we got it bought and we got it up for sale now. And eventually, as it's sold, whoever bought those mailers or won those mailers in the past will get a half of the profits of however much I would get out of this thing after financing. So Utah, here's another one. Skagit County, here's another one that's up there. That's from the recent mailers that we did. So some of these are starting to make it through, starting to come around. This one's 2.07 acres in Iron County, Utah. This one is, oh, come on. My website's not supposed to have an error like that. That's frustrating. It's, maybe I need to upgrade the web servers or something. It's spinning its wheels. Another one over here, got some Wyoming properties coming on the board. So $1,990. This Erica Benson put this one up, and I think we're gonna have Erica on the show one of these days. But 1,990 bucks, 2.07 acres. Looks like she might have gotten some real pictures of it. I'm not so familiar with Utah. So here's a 15. I've driven the 15 through Cedar City, but I don't think I've ever been on the 56 over here. So here's the surrounding area. Looks like it's pretty wide open. Get some nice beautiful mountains off in the background. Big wide open road. Wonder what the speed limit is on that road. I bet you there isn't one. Classic Utah style. So just a nice square on the map to go have fun with. 1,990 bucks. She's got a video about it. So there's another Skagit County, Washington property. That's from the recent mailers we did. 2.07 acres in Iron County, Utah. So I need to get this one priced and figured out here. This one, 1990, 1,990 bucks for another. This looks like that. Looks like you even use the same picture. So it's another one in the same. It's probably in the same area. 1.9 acres in Jefferson County, New York. She gets properties all over the place. She's got a good scattering of properties. So this one's coming up here. $7,995 for 1.9 acres. She's making videos about each one of these properties too. I think it's really cool. So pictures in the area and directions. Adirondack State Park. This is upstate New York. Let's see if we got the maps going. Yeah, we got the maps going. So it's right on the road. Let's see if we can do street view. We got street view going on here. So here's the road that it's on. Oh, look at that. There's some nice beautiful rocks in there. That'd be make a good entrance. Put the driveway up one side, build on top of a slab of rocks like that. Makes it unique. Look at these beautiful trees. So a good road, right off the side of a good road. 40 acres in Arizona, next national park. I don't see a price on this one yet. Yasser Lillington. Only $100 down payment, flexible. What the heck? So Yasser's new to the website. He's been posting some properties up there. He's doing some really easy owner finance. Let's see what he's doing. So cash discount price $6,499, or take any of my owner financing options with only $100 down payment, $199 dock fee, additional land, other places, Colorado, New Mexico. Yeah, so he's been doing a lot of owner finance, and I've got to get the maps up on here. So here's a map. He's got a map going to look at the location of it. So 40 acres, $100 down payment. I don't know what the rest of the payments are, but you could talk to Yasser about that. So here we're up here. Here's the 40. This is northern Arizona. This is Apache County, and you get some really beautiful colored rocks in this area, and you get some plateaus. Like this looks like it's up on one of the plateaus. It's got some bush coverage on it. Some parts it doesn't have the bush. This part looks like maybe smaller bush, not the bigger bush, maybe smaller bushes. But 40 acres is a big piece of land, and it looks like it's got a trail to the north of it. And let me make a note of this. Get the maps updated here so we can get the interactive maps. And then we've got 4.5 acres in Hampshire County, West Virginia. There we go. Someone else was just asking for some Virginia property, I think in some of the YouTube comments, and I pointed out this West Virginia. I mean, West Virginia is not Virginia, but it's the closest I have. So 4.5 acres in West Virginia, and it looks like, is this on a stream? Looks like it's on a stream. Look at that. How much are you asking? $11,995. Yeah, it does. It looks like it's on a stream. So Looks like it's riverfront. Looks like maybe a cabin next door with a driveway. That looks like a power line on the lot next door. It looks like there's might be a power line in the back of this one too. Not gonna have street view, is it? Not that good of a deal, but okay. So you don't want street view on your road anyway, do you? People looking at you. So you get a nice piece of wilderness here in West Virginia on the river. And it looks like there's more solid ground back here. You could probably build right up to the bank. I mean, these guys are building close up to the bank all the way around this bend. I wonder if you could put a dock in this river. That'd be really cool, right? Dock with a boat coming off here. You can drive your boat up and down the river. These people might have a dock. Looks like some mobile homes on this side, so you might be able to mobile home it. Looks like some actual houses built in some places. This river looks like it's got some rocks in it and breaks up through here. Maybe you don't want to drive a boat through there. Bet you it's good catfish fishing. Look at this, all these rocks across here, so it's breaking up the flow of the stream. It's a house hiding in the stream here, in the woods. I wonder how much waterfront that is. That's pretty cool. I like seeing waterfront properties like that. So that's my dreams, having a whole bunch of waterfront properties like that on the website, a bunch of them to choose from. So I know what I want. It's just about asking for it and doing the data to go ask for waterfront properties. I think is one of the next dances that would be cool to add to the website. 11,995 for waterfront property in South Branch of the Potomac River in West Virginia. That's pretty cool. Thanks, Erica, for putting that one on the website. That one needs to be presented. I doubt that sticks around. 2.27 acres in Iron County, Utah. She's got a couple of these Iron County, Utah ones. Camping in peace in this acre lot, less than 4 hours from Phoenix. So here's a 1 acre, 1 1/10 acre. It's asking $3,489. County is this Apache County. Little house next door. We got street view, no street view. Wonder maybe a mobile home next door. I don't see any power lines on there. There's some nice bush, and if they're doing mobile home, you could probably do mobile home on this one. Owner financing, $199 down, $199 documentation fee, $103 a month for 46 months. So like $400 to get started and then $103 a month. That's pretty neat. Some owner financing. This guy's always asking for owner financing. There's some just offered right up on the website. Really easy. You just click on it and run with it. Put a mobile home on it. Park County, Colorado, maybe? Yeah, yes, sir. He's got Colorado. Oh, he does really easy owner finance too. Let's take a look at this, guys. Let's see what he's offering on this one. $11,999 cash discount and owner financing available. Okay, so he's got pictures. Let's take a look at some pictures. This looks like horse area. You know, my wife would like to have horses here, I bet. Looks like you could ride them around. So here's a map of it. It's a long rectangular property with some mountains in the area. Let's see. It's only $500 down payment and choose any owner financing. So he's got a bunch of different owner financing. You got to talk to him about owner financing. So Utah, so he's got two different Park County. This other one, $500. What is that? Oh, $500 down, probably. Yeah, so $11,999 cash or $500 down owner financing for, we need to get some of the details on here of 4.5 acres. Let me just make a note to update some of these things so they're easier to compare. Okay, so seller finance for 20 acres in Utah near power lines. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Iron County, Utah. Brian's got this one. He's asking for cash on this one. He's usually offering some owner financing. Looks like a classic rectangle. Um, somewhere Utah. Okay, so we've got the 15's over here, and Cedar City's over here. So this is out west of Cedar City. It's probably the cheapest acreage around that area. Let's look at the next one, Utah. So we've got a couple of these Iron County, Utah properties. We've got some Castilla County, Colorado. We've had a lot of Castilla County, Colorado go through the website. Yasser Lindgren's got one here. This one looks like it's got a road to the north of the property, and he's doing $3,999 cash or owner financing with no down payment. Oh, look at that. You go move into the property, no down payment. Yeah, you'd have to talk to him about what kind of payments to make over time, but he's doing no down payment owner financing. That's Castilla County, Colorado. Let me catch up with some of the comments I see going by here. I got two different screens. One's flowing and the other's not. I don't get it. Oh, here we go. Okay, so... oh, maybe not. Let me try this one. Okay, go. So 123 says, if you build a tiny house in the middle of, let's say, 5 acres property, do you really need permits? I don't get how these zoning regs are enforced and why anyone would care as long as you're not bothering anyone. I thought this was supposed to be the land of the free. There you go. The land of the free. Okay, so that's a loaded question. He's asking, why do I have to deal with all these permits and these regulations of building a house? I just want to build my house and I want to be left alone, is what he's saying from my point of view. And so we're in the U.S. You've got federal laws, stuff like EPA, don't dump your gasoline in the ground and stuff like that. Don't make a toxic mess. Federal laws. You've got state laws that are stuff like they want you to get rid of the poo and pee in a proper way so it doesn't create, it doesn't leak into the rivers and leak into the neighbors' properties and where other people are drilling for water for wells and what have you. And then you've got county rules. The county wants, all the manufacturing in one part of the county and the housing in a different part of the county and the offices over here. And they separate the different uses of land based on a big festival of politics, if you will. So everyone argues it out and it changes and it changes and it changes over time. You wiggle, waggle, and say this is where you can do this and this is where you can't do that. And then you have bits and pieces of land in between that get exceptions and different rules put on them. And so when you're buying land, you're looking through that cacophony of rules and regulations to figure out a property that has the use that allows you to do what you want to do in an area that is okay to do what you want to do. And what people don't get a lot of the time is if you want to do what you want to do, usually residential is not the property for you. Residential is building your classic 3-bedroom, 2-bath family home, not a barn with a loft that you want to live in and park your RV down below or whatever that you might think is appropriate. But you could do that probably in agricultural land or commercial land or manufacturing zone land. But the agricultural land, the commercially zoned land, the office zone, shopping center, whatever zoned land probably costs more because you're competing with different people to buy that land. They're looking at putting a shopping center or a manufacturing plant or office complex or something like that on the property that could be a much better and higher use for the property and getting revenue and paying taxes on that property than what you would get out of your barn living in a loft you can park your RV underneath. or whatever it is you want to build, right? And so the county wants to collect the most taxes that they can from the area that they have, and they want to poo-poo your idea and up, a classic home that gets financed and trades for as much as possible. And they want to build as much shopping centers and offices and other, hospitals that they can to collect more taxes. It's a business, and the taxes flow, and they give the politicians more money to spend and more votes to win, more hands to shake, and more happy faces and all that stuff, right? So if you understand that game, you basically figure out that you just got to pay a little more. Stop buying the residential property, go buy something else. Go buy an agricultural property, go buy an RV zone property or a mobile home zone property or something that has more open regulations than what you want to do. It's called upzoning. If you want to put a tiny home on a piece of property, you can probably do it on a commercial property, but you probably can't do it on a residential property. And I'm saying probably because it's different every county, city, and area you go. And so I did those levels of regulations. So now we're down to the county regulations, right? Underneath that, you also have community regulations like the city or the township. The area makes up their own rules that might be more onerous than the county. And then even in that city, you might have neighborhood regulations. They might have built a fancy entrance to the neighborhood, and they got community parks and pool or tennis courts or boat launch area or something that they added on to help sell vacant land in that area, turn into houses or sell houses in that area. And they'll charge you money for it and create rules that make it easier for them in the beginning when they made that neighborhood to sell all the lots. Like they want to make it so all the lots sell. They don't want somebody to come in and build a barn with pigs and zebras and donkeys making a lot of noises in a neighborhood when they're trying to get a single family residence kind of people to move in next door. I'd like to have the pigs and the donkeys and the zebras and stuff. That sounds like a much more fun place to live to me, but not everybody wants to live next door to that person. They don't want to smell it. They don't want to hear it. They don't want it there. So if you're in the business of selling real estate, you make up these stupid rules that apply to everybody so you can sell those lots. And then they never go away. Those rules just go on and on and on. And so like we were talking about before, there's some neighborhoods in Arkansas that I was just pointing out earlier in this call that nobody made up those stupid rules on. And the properties are all still vacant. You can buy them and you can have your zebras and donkeys and camels or whatever you want on those properties, right? Because the rules aren't there. And so to the hell with the neighbors. And you might have other neighbors that come in and do something that you darn well don't want, but too bad, you bought land in an area without any rules. So you've got the freedom, your neighbor's got the freedom. Good luck telling the neighbor what to do. So there's pros and cons to it. So if you want land without the rules, go buy some land without the rules, and you're just going to have to shrug and say, oh, well, if you get mad at what the neighbors are doing, because you don't have any say in what the neighbors are doing, and they don't have any say in what you're doing. So just go seek out that kind of land and go for it. Okay, so let me go back a little bit. So that was for OK Go 123. Michael Martin, that was West Virginia land has an HOA fee 200 a year. Okay, so that West Virginia land that's on the river, they had a 200 a year HOA fee. Maybe that's where the driveway came from. Maybe they're paying for the road. I mean, this house I had earlier this year, it was $200 fee a year for maintaining this blacktop road, and the road was like a mile long. It was long driveway, maybe a mile and a half long. From the main road back, $200 a year. That sounds like road maintenance kind of fees to me, not like tennis courts and all that kind of stuff. Adam McSills, morning Luke, morning Adam. And Pamela says, hi Luke, I haven't had freaking HOAs. Yeah, exactly, freaking HOAs. And the other trick about HOAs is go for neighborhoods. Even if you're going to get stuck with an HOA, go for neighborhoods that have HOAs from like the 60s or maybe early 70s, like 50s and 60s, before they started making up the thick rules, because they just took the same documents and added on rules over time, right? They didn't get rid of rules. So now you get these big, thick HOA documents. But the ones from like the 60s, it's just a 1-pager or 2-pager that says what your minimum square footage is or something like that, and says no pigs. Get some really easy ones. Yes, all about taxes. Yeah, they are trying to get rid of the tiny homes. Exactly. I mean, if you're trying to collect taxes, would you rather collect taxes from 5 bedroom McMansions or tiny homes? I mean, it's just economics. It's the way that they don't want tiny homes. They want big houses. That pay more taxes, put more money into the schools and the roads and everything around the area. Um, Adam Mixell, thank you for helping me find my Arkansas property. Can't wait to get the deeds in the mail. There you go. Thanks, Adam. Pamela, me too. That's the life. Living right by my horses. Yeah. Pamela, Elko, Nevada. Yep. Yeah, you can have a lot of horses in Elko, Nevada. There's wild horses in Elko, Nevada. They're running around. Adam Mixell says Luke is a good guy to buy land from. Thanks, Adam. We got our Adam's deal got screwed up a bit, and yeah, we had to fix it. We got some other properties instead, so I'm glad he's happy. Our Coronet. Many just want to build safe homes that don't burn easily, not mold or blow away, and be drained of money at the same time of building. When they don't account for money and do nothing but put Americans under. Yeah, exactly. There's the cost of homes in the U.S. is getting, I think, ridiculous, and it goes and goes and goes, and a lot of people talk and complain about student debt. Yeah, student debt is bad, but the price that we're paying for homes is ridiculous compared to our parents or grandparents in the U.S. And as a percentage of income, of how many years of what we make does it take to pay for our home? I mean, the U.S. has been leveraged out forever. I mean, if you go back to um, Thoreau and Walden Pond, he was a land surveyor, and he made his money surveying land, and he walked all over the place of whatever it was, Massachusetts or back that area, and he surveyed people's land. He was surveying it for the banks because these people were borrowing money from the banks. And there was a note in there where he said he only knew of 2 homes in the whole town that weren't mortgaged to the bank. Like everybody's mortgaged. And part of his civil disobedience was to walk away from those mortgages and stop taking those mortgages and go live in the woods, build a small cabin by Walden Pond, and go back to basics and live off the grid, if you will, without the banks, and do it yourself. Use your hands, make this thing happen, and go live like a hermit, like you did. You go write books and stuff. And he assessed that place and surveyed all over the place, but he was figuring out how many of the homes were in and how deep they were to the banks by doing his surveyors, because the banks need the surveys. And it's not new that we're into it deep with the banks in the U.S. and housing. The U.S. has always been that way, and now it's something like 50% of the homes in the U.S. are mortgaged and 50% of them not, or 48% or 52, or it bounces right around 50%. So it's a lot less of them are mortgaged than they used to be, but still the ones that are, especially new entrants into the market, get the biggest mortgages, the biggest payments, and they're leveraged out to the moon the most. And it's that marginal area where trades happen that are housing is the most expensive. And so we all feel like everything's expensive, but it's that last 1/10 of 1% or maybe 1% that's trading that's at these high prices that makes everything look so expensive. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say, but it's not that everybody can afford it. Most of the people are in from earlier on somewhere and leveraging up or pyramiding up. It's the new people trying to enter the housing market that have it the toughest, like the millennials right now. And I think the tiny house movement and going to do it on your own is a really cool alternative to that. There is a YouTube channel that is, oh man, wild something. It's a homesteader with an A-frame in West Virginia. Maybe you guys know that one. Yeah, here we go. I've been watching this one. This one's fun. A girl with a chipmunk voice. Where is it? Wild Wonderful Off Grid. Look at that, 120,000 subscribers. So this one's been coming on strong. I've got a passion for A-frames because my parents have an A-frame on Lake Michigan. I grew up not really living in it, but we always had it rented out, and I just always had a passion for that. And so this YouTube channel is a younger family with their kids. Like mama got the kids on her back or on the sling in the pouch of the earlier videos, and dad is like an electrician and making it happen, right? And they make these they make this house, they make this A-frame house, and they run you through the whole thing. I subscribed to this channel when they had like 4,000 or 5,000 subscribers. I'm like, oh heck yeah, they're building an A-frame. Sign me up. Someone from these live videos was telling me about it, and it's been fun to watch. They're going. They got the roof on. They got the plumbing. They got the electrical, and these people are doing it, and they're talking about doing it debt free, and I think that's the renaissance that's happening. They went to West Virginia. They bought some land in West Virginia because it was cheaper than other areas they were looking at. And they got some land, this big chunk of land, like 80 acres, with a house on it. So I think that house allowed them to finance the property. I'm not sure if they financed it or what. Debt free, I don't know about that. But then they rented out the house. Or maybe they bought it with the house and then they rented it out and that allowed them to do it. I don't know. But they got a piece of property with a house on it. They rented out the house and they're building a house in the back. And they've got a bunch of videos about making it happen. So Wild Wonderful Off-Grid's a cool one that's doing that and is fun to watch. Okay. Telling West Virginia is beautiful, but it's cold in the winter. Yeah, no rules in Elko, Nevada. All about money. Exactly. Elko is nice and easy. Yes, right on off the grid, but they will still find a way to make money off of us. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's always people trying to make money off of us. I mean, if they provide good service and products and stuff, I'm fine with that. There used to be allodial titles, and RU4 are becoming far and few between. Nevada may still have allodial title. Allodial title. I don't know what allodial title is. Good morning, Luke. And did you eat the stingray, or can you? Glad you're okay. No, I didn't eat the stingray. I usually just let stingray. I've caught lots of stingray. I usually just let them go. They're in Baja. Sometimes they'll serve them as scallops. They cut them out with like a round cookie cutter, and they slice the skin off because their flaps have a really soft, moist kind of meat to them, and so when they're prepared right, they seem a lot like scallops, and so the Mexicans will sell them as scallops sometimes. So you watch out for that, but and they taste pretty good. I've had them. They're like, this is actually stingray, but they're cut to look like scallops. Yeah, they're pretty good. But I've never eaten the ones from here. Okay, so let's look at some more properties. Your own playground next to the Rio Grande, Castilla County. We're looking at a lot of Iron County, Castilla County, Panola County, Mississippi. Let's take a look at that. So we got 1 acre in Panola County, Mississippi. $3,050. It's 1.06 acres. Here we got a map. Let's play with the map. So it looks like there's a little road on the western side of it. It looks like there's some little cabins around the area. It looks like a better road over here. Maybe this one's just buried in the woods. I really doubt there's street view in this area. Yeah, there's no street view in the area. But it looks like some nice trees. Looks like some ponds or water features over here. Whoa, big lake. So close to a big lake. Let's take a look at this. Wonder what lake this is. Enid Lake. A bunch of parks around it. So the property is just over here by this lake, and it looks like there's a dam here. So there's Highway 55, Batesville to the north. Another lake over here, Sardis Lake. We've got Memphis to the north. And so this would be, where are we here? I've never taken this 55 route through Mississippi. I've gone through Jackson. I've been through Memphis, going east and west. I've never gone north-south through here. Maybe I did one time. I went from New Orleans to St. Louis. Maybe I did go through here one time from south to north. My sister used to go to school in St. Louis. That was a conference in New Orleans. That was a long time ago. But some beautiful trees here. Whippoorwill Road. Okay. So an acre in the woods in Mississippi. Walton County, Florida. We're getting some more Florida. So Walton County. I used to do road trips down to this area as a teenager in high school. Let's take a look at this thing. So there's power line here on the street. There's houses or mobile homes in the area. Looks like this one's got a pool. And looks like a dirt road out front. Paved road not very far away. Good neighborhood here. This is Panhandle, Florida. I think this is Panama City Beach, or is this Panama City Beach? I think this is Panama City Beach. Panama City Beach over here. Miramar Beach. Pensacola Beach. So really big sand beaches here. If you like surf fishing, this is a great spot to go surf fishing. I've been surf fishing along this coast too. So just inland off the coast, you could drive out to the coast in short order. You could put, I'm guessing, mobile home or house on this lot. And let's take a look at the size and price and stuff. So Jason Lydiard's got this one up, $6,999 or owner finance, $750 down, $200 a month for 36 months. So you could take it out for cash or probably pay a little bit more and make payments over time. And you can put a mobile home on the property and go use it and get out of the cold and go down, enjoy some Florida. Let's see what else we got. The next one, Ozark County, Missouri. So we got some Missouri. So Jason Lydiard's got a bunch of these. I'm thinking this is Jason Lydiard. A bunch of these. Yeah. Ozark County, Missouri. $4,999 or owner finance. $750 and $200 per month. So he's got a bunch of these properties in this area. And I was hoping he'd get some on the website. And looks like he's been starting to get them on the website. We need to get some maps on the website of this. Let me make a little note of that. If I can find the right screen. Trying to left-hand it. So he's got a couple of these. He's got numerous different ones around that area. I think he had like 400 of them. I think it'd be neat if he got them all up there so we could go shop through them. Escape the city and head out for some fun in Castilla County, Colorado. So some more Castilla County. Humboldt County, Nevada. Okay. This is, I think we touched base on this one last week. I think we might be circling around to last week, or we got some more Humboldt County. I remember telling you guys about the gun store in Winnemucca. If you're ever in Winnemucca, you got to go gun shopping. It's kind of like the northern territories of Pakistan. You just walk outside and start shooting. So here's a chunk of land here, and 23 minutes to, I don't know what that is. Winnemucca is going to be where the local supplies are. And so $1,939 cash or owner financing at $249 a month. So we've got the street right out front here. There's a couple buildings around the area. Looks like some mobile homes and some other homes that people have built. Some crop circles over here. So these people have figured out water and utilities and supplies and things. So I'm sure you could figure it out over here too. I don't think that's the same Winnemucca one that we covered last week. Colorado City's premium investment land. Pueblo County, Colorado. Pueblo County. We covered some Pueblo. We got a bunch. There's Torrance County, New Mexico. I think we're getting into ones we had before. Here's Ozark County, Missouri. Apache County. We're getting on to page 4, so we're getting into 40-something properties. Charlotte County, Florida. Yeah, so we did that by Port Charlotte, and Park County, Wyoming. I think these are ones we've covered before. Okay, so we've got a total of 29 pages on the website right now. So we got it under the 300, so 290 or 280, 283 properties. I think this one might have just sold. I think it's, well, maybe not. Okay, so let's give away some more land. Back to the fun stuff. Let's make sure I got the comments caught up first and then give some land away. If you guys have a really good question from just like a basic question, it's like an example of the kinds of questions that I usually ask in these videos to give the land away, I think that'd be cool if one of you guys came up with a question from something I said earlier in the video that I would remember and I could ask the crowd about to answer, and we could give some land away to the person that answers it right. That'd be cool. Put that into the comments below, the live chat, not the comments of the video, but the live chat. So there's anything close to, I think they're saying Indiana. Yeah, Indiana. We'll see if we have Indiana. I think Indiana is a lot like the Kansas one we were talking about before, where prices of land are very much hinging on farmability of the land, how you can farm it. Because farmers will have the equipment in the area and they'll have a spread of land that's not always contiguous, but around the same town, around the same area. I had an uncle that was really into, well, he had dairy farming when I was younger, but before the dairy farms, he had cattle. He had cattle spread through southern Michigan. He would pick up random pieces of property and he would fence them for cattle, and he would show, he would keep his cattle there, but you'd drive like an hour or two between the properties. So he had cattle spread all over southern Michigan or central Michigan, like Barrington County and Reed City areas of Michigan, the cheapest land in the lower peninsula, if you will, that's farmable. I know other farmers do that too. So Indiana, we've got one here that's sold. We got some over in the Illinois side. Okay, here south of Chicago, these are up on the board right now. Let's take a look at these. This looks like it's by a golf course. 1/4 acre on a golf course, close to everything. And Christine McManus has this one on the website. Thanks for Christine for posting this. $3,700, and it's 1/4 acre. Let's take a look. There's two of them next to each other. Oh wow, look at that. There's a house right out in front of it. Looks like a power line going through. Kind of wonder what the access is. I'd ask her about access on this one. There's probably an easement extending the driveway, I would presume. Can we do, yeah, we can do street view. Power line behind it. There's a fire hydrant right out front. So a nice house here and some lots off behind it. So there's the neighborhood. $3,700 for 1/4 acre. So let's see what else we have over here. Let's see. $1,400, 0.13 acres. Looks like it's on a road. Some houses behind it, maybe some old pools going on. Can we do street view over here? Yeah, we can. Let's take a look at this one. Just a bunch of woods, a bunch of trees, the road. Probably build a driveway in there. $1,400, $1,400 lot in Illinois. So it's not in Indiana, but that's close as we have on the board right now. Okay, our Corone is saying, allodial title is a real property ownership system where the real property is owned free and clear of any superior landlord. In this case, the owner will have an absolute title over his or her property. Yeah, there you go. That sounds like a good way to own it. No covenants over your head. There's more info, but basically, sovereign, pay once, no more. Leave me the f alone. Yeah, no tax or intrusions, I believe. Okay, so no tax or intrusions. That sounds more like the kind of land you'd get in Europe or Latin America, where the five major landowners of the country make up all the rules and regulations, and they don't want any tax on their land, which neither do I. I don't want tax on my land. But the U.S. broke away from Europe, and a lot of people in the U.S. broke away from Europe, and they left, and they were poor. They were the poorer crowd that didn't own land, majority speaking, and they left because they wanted a new place to go that they could get their own land. They had a shot at getting their own land. They could farm it. They could make it happen. It could be theirs for them and their kids and their grandkids. And the U.S. was giving land away. They're trying to attract people. We had all kinds of frontiers to go tackle, and so we were giving land away. And people came and they got this land. And I think it was Thomas Jefferson and forefathers, when they created the Declaration of Independence and that kind of stuff, they came up with the idea that we should charge tax on the land instead of tax on the people. In Europe, they charge tax on the people. They charge tax on the labor. And if you were working the land, you had to go pay taxes. And the landowner that owned the land that had you working on it didn't have to pay the taxes. And so when they died and when they had land sitting around that they weren't using and stuff, it didn't matter. The taxes didn't work on their estate, and the land stayed together, and the people that were working the land never had a chance to buy that land from the people that weren't very efficient at using it. In the U.S., when we have taxes on the land instead of on the people, this was before other taxes were created, we had tax just on the land. When people didn't use the land, or they had some swamp, or they had some land that was not deemed to be as economic as the heart of the operation, they would say, I don't want to pay tax on that back 40, or I don't want to pay tax on all that swamp land, or I don't want to pay tax on that land that I'm not planting stuff on. And they would stop paying tax. They would sell it or stop paying tax on it, and somebody else would have a shot to go to work on it. The new young family that's willing to go break their back to pull all the weeds and trees and dig ditches to drain the swamps and develop that land into something that they want to make it work would do it, and they would make it happen. And so the U.S. came up with that logic back in the day, and they've run through with it and through history. And I think Australia does that, and Canada does that, and New Zealand does that. Like Western civilized countries do that, but not so much Europe, not so much Latin America, not so much Asia, not so much Africa. Generally speaking, they don't do that because the people that make up the rules are the landowners and the ones that own everything, and they don't want the taxes on them. They want it on the people. So there's a dichotomy there. Whether you're the young up and comer and you want a foothold, I think the U.S. style has more of a place for you. If you've made your way and you own everything and you don't want to pay taxes anymore, I think Asia, Latin America, a lot of these other third world countries have a better place or a better system for that, to lock yourself in and run for it. Just my point of view. You guys might have a different view. But, okay, the banks won't finance anything that has a frame under it now. I don't get it. They are not making money off the tiny homes because we can move the tiny houses. Maybe you could hook up a mobile home to, I don't know. Yeah, so it's harder to finance them. I mean, lots of times the banks have minimums. Like, it doesn't make sense for them to write mortgages under 50 grand or 30 grand, or, just too much cost for the amount of money that they make. JM saying, can you buy property using LLC? Yes, of course. I mean, lots of properties are owned in LLCs. You can buy land in LLC, and you can change the ownership of the LLC over time instead of changing the title on the land. You can change it to your kids and grandkids. You could change it to your church, or change it to your whatever you want to donate stuff to, or you could sell shares in it to friends and family, and investors, and say you want to build something on the land, you talk somebody into putting up the money. You could give them shares of your LLC instead of financing it. There's so many different ways of doing this. Just as creative as you can be, right? Pamela, what do you plan on building? Please don't move to Indiana on purpose. Yeah, exactly. A lot of people move away from Indiana, but I mean, it's good farmland. Frenchie, here is a good Westian. Good question. Name the most popular county in Arizona that has the lowest amount of regulations. That's a good one. Anything Tech Cobb, Adobe, do you buy land without a road to it? It's nice to visit. Did Indiana win? Possible question. What type of building did the YouTube couple build? There you go. That might be easier because I think the question about what county in Arizona might be too ambiguous because it depends on what kind of regulations you're looking at. Different people look at regulations differently depending on what they're trying to do. Trying to get out of Indiana. The winter is horrible and summers is roller coaster ride. I like going outside. It's not a life staying in the house because of the weather. I want to live where I can have my horses in Texas. Nice. Don Cox says, true alluvial land hasn't existed since Napoleon. There you go. That's why I'm not used to the name of alluvial land. Since Napoleon, okay. Wow, tax the people. That's like the insurance on people. Closet now is land patent. Closest now is land patent. Yeah, land patent. Getting a land patent in the U.S. Closest U.S. version. Maybe you should have to use the land to own it past a certain amount of acres. We'll end up taking people's property or selling it while many are homeless, etc. A part of messing up this country. Yeah, so people get their property taken away when they don't pay taxes. And I've had property taken away from me when I don't pay taxes. And it's usually because the title is so darn screwed up on that property, it's not worth fixing. It's like I sold it to somebody and they wanted a refund, and I refunded them, and then they're supposed to deed it back to me, and then the deed back to me wasn't good or something like that, right? And I get caught in a snafu along the way, and I end up no money and no land that I can resell, and what the heck do I do with that land, right? I mean, it ends up going back to the county for not paying taxes. And then somebody ends up buying it and using it and reselling it somewhere along the way. And that allows for a mechanism in our system to clean up problems. So there's a lot of problem land. People die and disappear. They go to jail for a really long time. They don't take care of their estates and whatever. Or they're just senile. They're not paying attention, or they own so much of this stuff they don't keep track of it all. It doesn't mean enough to them to matter. And that kind of land people can squat on. I could go squat on somebody's land if I wanted to. I could go squat on their land openly and honestly, say, I'm going to start living here. And if they don't kick me off in a certain amount of time versus whatever that timeline is in that area, I can keep the land. I can do the paperwork with the courts to keep the land. So people can take your land in the U.S., and the government, the county, can take your land in the U.S. for not paying taxes. And both of those ways help recycle land that's in the U.S. that's not being used and not being looked after and not being taken care of. And it brings that land back into the marketplace. Without that mechanism to bring that land back into the marketplace, the prices of land would just keep going up because the availability of land would keep getting smaller and more constricted with weird title, weird family relationships. It went from grandpa to the family. The family had 6 kids, and each of those 6 kids had 6 kids, and they all passed on, and then they all had 12 kids. Next time they all passed on. Before you know it, it's owned by 300 people, and nobody feels like they actually own the land or is willing to pay tax on it, but they all have some say in it. Good luck getting them all to sign it over to someone. It's a mess. That kind of stuff happens in properties a lot. And when people stop paying the taxes or someone starts squatting on the land, it might be someone from that family goes and squats on the land, gets rid of the other 299 distant family members from the ownership of it. Then they could go finance the land later on and build the house of their dreams. There's a lot of good things to that mechanism too. I don't think it's all bad. I don't like to get land taken away, but it's not all bad. How do I get a mailer with you? Yeah, so I'm overcooked with mailers right now. I gotta finish the ones that I've promised, and then when I get those ones that I've promised out the gate, I'll start giving you guys more heads up on the live calls about doing more mailers. And I think I'm gonna do them in a more defined way. Like I'm gonna figure out the mailer ahead of time and say, okay, it's this mailer, this much, this is how much I can offer, and not having an open door and getting overwhelmed. I think that's what I'm going to do going forward. So let me catch up first, and then I'll start doing more mailers as I get caught up. Who won my phone? I haven't given it away yet. I keep answering questions. The circle of life, yes, that can take your home or your land. Yes. Okay. So I think we had a good question here. Someone was asking. So first, let's do the 10th. We got a bunch of people on the show right now. Let's do the 10th. The 10th person to answer this right from now. If you answered it in the past, I'm not going to count it. But if you answer it right from now, cool. What kind of home, what shape of home, what design of home, it's all the same thing, is that YouTube channel that I was recommending building. Young family with the kids, and mom's got the kids strapped on in a baby Bjorn or baby carrier, right? And yeah, so the 10th person to say that, I got them going by on another screen here. I'm going to count them off. So Frenchie says A-frame. Frenchie must have some fast internet. That guy gets them out quick. Frenchie says A-frame twice. Jade Sutherland says A-frame. Oh, geez. Where'd my... Ew. They're going by too fast. Let me start over. Frenchie, Jade, John Bush, Frenchie, so up to 5. Land Wrangler says A-frame 6. Dave Tassiet says A-frame 7. So Dave, I'm going to call Dave Tassiet the winner for another piece of land. The second piece of property I'm giving away today. It's going to be another one of these funky Arkansas properties. So Dave, you win the land. Let's do it. Whether I got the... my typing's horrible. Left hand. So Dave, can you please, yeah, 10 down. I count, did I do that wrong? Did I say 10? I counted 7. I'm sorry, guys. I'm still going to go with whatever I counted. Dave Tassiet wins. My count's probably wrong. My spelling's bad. Everything's wrong, but I'm going to give the land to Dave Tassiet. Sorry if I got that wrong. I always miss something on there. The feed comes in different or whatever. I'm going to run with Dave Tassiet. Dave wins. Thank you guys. Thanks for playing. Thanks for following along. I'll give away more in the next video, 9 a.m. Monday morning next week. And yeah, I got to go work on some more videos about different properties that we've got on the website. I've got to work on mailers. I got to work on a bunch of things I got to keep up with. So I'm going to cut this off. We're like an hour and a half into the show. It's going too long. But I'm just glad that you guys come in and listen and watch, and that you're interested in these same kinds of properties that I love working on. It means a lot to me to buy land. It's hard to screw up the land once you buy it at a good price. And there's so many ways to add value to land, whether it's something simple as financing or adding pictures and descriptions and location and making it easy for someone to buy, or actually building something on it, putting in driveways, splitting it up. Whatever your plan is to do with that land, I'm sure you can make it better than where it's coming from. And that's what we have to spread. So we've got a lot of the cheapest, easiest land around the country. Go take a look on ruralvacantland.com. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe. You see more videos like this. You get the notifications of new videos, live videos coming up like this in the future, where you can win more land, mailers, or whatever else I come up with to give away on the show. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one. Take care. Talk to you later. Bye. I gotta find the right button. Here we go.